Well, former Ukhozi FM radio host Ngizwe Mchunu is expected back in court today. Mchunu stands accused of inciting violence that led to unrest and looting in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. The state is opposing bail, arguing that he's a flight risk. In his bail application at the Randburg Magistrates Court yesterday, the state read out an affidavit from an investigating officer who testified that Mchunu has a passport and was not honest about where he lives and his employment status. The affidavit was also coupled with video footage where he admits that he's evaded arrest 5 times. Bail proceedings continue this morning. Well, for more on today's court proceedings, let's chat to our reporter, Slindelo Masikane. She joins us now live from Johannesburg. Slee, thanks for joining us. I can see you're just about to go into court. What's expected to happen this morning?
Good morning, Annika. Yes, we are expecting the bail application for Ngizwe Mchunu to continue here in the Randburg Magistrates Court. You can see behind me that security is pretty tight when it comes to this particular bail application. Unfortunately, the magistrate yesterday did not allow media to be able to record those proceedings during court proceedings. And so we can only essentially just take notes as journalists inside and report on the bail application during adjournments. However, his lawyers have also arrived and they'll be trying to poke holes in some of the evidence that was brought forward by the state in terms of that affidavit from the investigating officer who pointed out that Mchunu is a flight risk in terms of the fact that he has a passport that only expires around 2026 and that he's also got an American visa and has recently traveled to countries such as Nigeria as well as Dubai. That affidavit also pointed out that it doesn't seem as though Mchunu was very honest around his personal circumstances when it comes to his employment status. It's alleged that the state actually has an affidavit sworn by his employer that he is employed by that particular person, and also the investigating officer could not verify the address where he lives. There's another affidavit that states that the person who actually lives there says that Mchunu does not actually reside at that particular address. And so that kind of evidence, I think the state will be trying to argue that not only is he not honest, but also there's a possibility that he could evade arrest, because coupled with that affidavit was video footage of Mchunu being seen telling people that he's evaded arrest a number of times. You could actually see him at the airport clearly trying to flee from the police. And so that was just some of the evidence that was brought forward. And today the defense will now bring forward their arguments. And we understand, of course, that court proceedings will be starting any moment from now. It does not seem as though Mchunu has arrived just as yet, but we are expecting that bail application to continue.
Slee, has there been any suggestion that Mchunu is part of a wider conspiracy?
Not at this stage. I mean, there are speculations taking place in terms of the motive behind why Mchunu has been arrested, some suggesting that it's political, some suggesting that people like Mchunu are just low-hanging fruit at this point, and that the real instigators, the real masterminds behind the alleged insurrection, or failed insurrection rather, still need to be arrested and brought to book, and that those that we are seeing appearing in courts right now are just not the ones that we actually should be gunning for. But you know, his supporters here yesterday suggested that his arrest is just a concoction, that it's you know, it's just it's a political ploy, as well as a distraction against those that are actually behind what happened a couple of weeks ago in the country.
Slee, before you go in, did the magistrate give any reasons as to why the media weren't allowed to film? Was there too much sensitive information perhaps coming out?
No, the main reason, Annika, it seemed, was that, of course, his lawyers were against the filming of the proceedings and citing his right to privacy. And I think the magistrate felt that his right to privacy outweighed that of public interest, which is what we as the media brought forward as reasons why we should be filming those proceedings. But we will once again bring another application today, possibly to be able to at least film the closing arguments as well as the judgment.
Thank you so much. Lindelo Masikane there at court waiting for the accused to arrive, and hopefully we'll get some sort of insight from his defense team as to why Mchunu was at all involved, if he was, in this conspiracy of a failed insurrection. Well,